What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Draymond Green Show with my dog, BD. What's happening, my brother?
What's up, my dog? We already, going into our second week, almost into the new year, man. Kids back in school now, getting back into routine. How you feeling now?
A lot better, man. Jesus Christ. I love my kids. I love hanging with my kids. They are amazing.
Mhm.
They breathe life into me, so I really enjoy it. But having 4 kids can be a bit overwhelming at times. And I can love my kids and enjoy being around them and want them to go back to school.
For
Both can be
sure.
true.
School is a good thing.
both can be true. And I am happy they back. So we can start back really getting these episodes pumping how we do, So please subscribe to the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis so you don't miss any of these episodes, any of this banter. Make sure you subscribe.
Yep, that's right. Follow the show on all social media platforms at Draymond Show so you don't miss none of these announcements, man. We got crazy announcements. I know we've been away for a bit. There have been many things that we need to cover, a lot of stuff we need to cover. So we're going to start off with the fast break. This is a segment where we'll cover 3 stories in 12 minutes, and we have to start with Christmas Day. I don't know if you've seen or explained what happened during this play, but could you explain what happened when you pulled down the Lakers?
Well,
Hey, bro.
what happened was
I was
Scott Foster, who's I got a few referees I love, so I'm gonna say one of my top 3 favorite referees. I love Scott Foster. And I actually love Scott Foster. Like, the reason I love Scott Foster, you got all of it in that game of why I love Scott Foster. He don't care who you are.
Yeah.
He's going to call the call however he sees it.
Yeah.
Don't matter who you are.
Yeah.
Love that about Scott Foster. You can be LeBron James. You can be Quentin Post. He going to call it the same way, and he ain't afraid of you. Like, no matter who you are, Scott ain't afraid. So I love Scott Foster for that reason. So in true fashion, my favorite referee is right here on the baseline. On the box out, they hook their arms in front of me, which you can't do. It's illegal. Like, they connect and hold each other's arms.
How dare you?
Scott. I'm like, Scott, they can't do this. Y'all like, hey, unlock arms. You guys can't do that. So they unlock arms, and then they start to move their arms back together. So I look back at Scott. I'm like, Scott. He like, you can't do that. So, you know me.
Oh my God, dude.
I think fast. So I'm like, all right. Well, if their arms are connected, if you run into their arms, it's actually a foul on them. So I'm like, I just alerted Scott twice. He see that they lock an arm. I'm going. So I take a little step back to load my run up. And then I just try to start taking off running into their arm. When I run into their arm, Scott, you seen that their arms was locked. You ain't gonna blow the whistle. So I'm like, oh, they ain't blow the whistle yet. All right, I gotta do more to get this foul call.
You are nuts.
Come here.
Hey,
come here.
Hey,
you gotta blow this whistle
bro,
one way.
Hey, bro. I swear, when I was watching that, it was almost like you told the ref, hey, look what I'm about to do.
Hey, I told it. I said, Scott, they can't do this. So check this out.
Suplex.
I don't hear a whistle blow yet. So I'm like, oh, ain't enough contact yet. Like, let me create more contact. So I create more contact with it. Scott blows the whistle and go, double foul. No. Foul on you. Shoot one free throw. I'm like, what, Scott? Like,
bro, that was.
He like, well, hell, Draymond. Like, I don't know what it should be, but I know you fouled. So whatever. Scott, but you just saw them hook arms. He's like, Draymond, it's a foul on you. For sure. I said, Scott, they hooked arm. Scott goes to the referee who's now on the baseline. Hey, switch positions with me so he can come down there and talk.
Do you think it was not a foul on you?
No, it was definitely a foul on me for sure.
Okay.
But it was only a foul on me because he missed the first foul where I ran into their arm.
No. Hell no.
So listen,
Hell
check this
no.
out.
Hell no.
So Scott comes to the baseline and has a full conversation, incredible conversation. It was such a fun conversation. And he's like, Draymond, but I don't know which one of the guys I wanted to call a foul on you on. I don't know which. He said if they were shooting free throws, I don't know which one of them I get a free throws to. And we had a whole conversation. And like I said, that's one of the reasons Scott is one of my favorite referees because there's this common misconception of like you can't talk to Scott Foster, and I think that is so far from true. You can have a conversation with Scott Foster the entire game all night. As long as y'all are having a conversation back, and you can even raise your voice up.
Yeah.
He'll raise his voice back. Like, and like I said, and at a certain point throughout the night, if you start to get disrespectful, Scott gonna tell you I'm done. I ain't talking to you no more. And then if you talk to him, you're gonna get a tech. But Scott's not just a guy that you're gonna go talk to right away and get a tech. Like the man literally switched positions. Like, hey, switch with me, so he could come down there and talk some more. Like. Yeah. And it was such a fun it was such a fun moment.
It was
for me, and to have that moment with Scott, like I said, one of my favorite referees. Truly a blast.
Man, that was one of the all-time free throw WWF WWE. That was old school WWF. Dusty Rhodes taking down boom with the double suplex. Then you looked at the ref and said, what?
Call the first foul, Scott. I ran into their connected arm.
What?
Call the first foul.
What did I do?
Hey, Scott. Scott, you hear this?
Scott, you should have caught that first foul. If Scott would have caught the first foul, then it would have made it all the more better. I think he missed that call. If he would have made
Scott, I'm moving on. You hear this? But you owe me one next time you referee our games.
Don't let them boys lock arms like that, Scott.
You owe me one, Scott. Hey, let me swing this rock, man. Why are the NBA ratings down like this? Like, I know it's football season, but talk to me. What you got for me?
Storytelling, man. Storytelling, storylines. I think, as the visibility of the league expand, you need more voices telling more authentic stories and being able to tap into these players. Like when I look at the media around the game, it's different. It's all like almost like fake news, gossip news, all the bullshit, opinions, weird ass people giving hot takes. Everything is a hot take. And now you kind of phasing out what we did every day in the streets. You know what I mean? Is like who your top 5, who the top 10, or who the top 25. And like you can't even really, we don't even have that no more. You know what I mean? We don't even have like who the top 5 guards in the league, who the top 5 big dudes, right? And so, and then on top of that, with no stories, get no nicknames, get no superheroes with no superpowers. And so now the kids is like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm getting Steph, but where's the Steph? Like the Steph LeBron story on Christmas Day got to be a Christmas dream. You know what I mean? And you got to have just more of the culture. I think you got so much media, but like you once again, getting a microphone to the people who don't really know the game or the history of the game. And so where there's no nostalgia, there's nowhere for you to kind of like dive in the game for you to get to know these new dudes, and they dope, right? I've been saying that, like this young generation, if we embrace them with their skill and learn who they are and learn their names, even though they're young coming in the league, like it would help even for them to know they pass. You know what I'm saying? And so like the questions may be a little different. The nostalgia may be a little different. Then you know why, Golden State and the Lakers got beef because it's history there. You know what I mean? You know why the Detroit Pistons and Chicago got beef in this history there. So whether you're the best team in the league or the worst team in the league, you playing for legacy and to keep that streak alive. You feel what I'm saying? Or territory. And so the league just got away from like, man, like what the hell are we watching the games for if they don't mean nothing?
Yeah. No, that's a fact. I agree. I think the storytelling's way down. Um, I can't blame it all on media because players play. However, I do think players play by rules that are set, and I think the rules are not enjoyable to watch. It's it's just too clean. Like it ain't no and like nah.
There's no
And
value.
it's
There's no value for possessions either.
yeah,
So it's
it's
like
not.
it don't give you like I don't have no anxiety watching
Mhm,
the game until the playoffs come. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Man, ain't no anxiety. Ain't like, damn, man, like we really need a stop right now. It's like the game's always like coming back from 13, or it's never really a tight
mhm,
game all the way through to build that narrative. And to your point, the rules and the style of play is just can't be appealing that like everybody want to be Steph, but ain't everybody Steph, bro.
mhm. That's a fact.
And so
That's
it's
a
a lot
fact.
of bricking. You know what I mean? It's a lot of
Mhm,
fucking bricking going on. And it's like, why is this dude shooting like crazy shots? You know what I mean? And it's like, we want to see
mhm.
the superstar.
No, that's a fact. All right, listen, I agree with that. And by the way, media, no passes here. I can't blame solely y'all, but people tired of hearing y'all talk about who somebody slept with
Oh
last
my
night or
gosh, bro.
who
Knock it off.
such and such came in late. Like nobody care. They
Right.
want to hear you talk about basketball, but they've now done the argument culture for so long in sports that they don't know how to talk about basketball anymore. They don't know basketball anymore. So they spew out these pointless numbers that no one understands. It's no soul in it. Like, it's like the league has lost its soul. It's no soul in it anymore.
It's hella squares, man. It's just hella.
Nonetheless, I do think, yes, in America, the ratings are down for sure, but I'm sure
Oh,
globally
yeah, it's all the
they're
way
through the
up.
roof.
Yeah, but we get,
So
like, where is the culture and the intersection? You know what I mean? You can't
it's
just
gone.
it's just like, oh, we just gonna play rap music because like we just think that this just gonna appeal to people. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
everything is like the NBA used to be the source of like culture curation,
Yes, for
the
sure. It's
content
not anymore.
curation and commercials. Like, look at all the whack ass commercials that's out. You know what I mean? Like, man,
Mhm.
like name somebody who got a dope shoe commercial. Nobody.
No, I got the dopest commercial on TV
Man,
still
the one with
a year
yeah,
later.
with the is it the Buick? What is that? A Buick?
Kia,
Yeah,
come on,
Kia.
man.
Okay, for
What's up,
sure.
bro? Hey, you all right? Tell you ride.
Hey,
You tripping.
hey, send me one of
My
them.
Kia tell you ride with I wish I could send you one of those. My Kia tell you ride. Me and my baby girl still the hottest commercial
That's a
on
fire
TV.
commercial, though. But
No
it shows personality and it show
mhm,
you in a different environment. So what you see
facts.
on the court, you know what I mean? Like, and it's new. Everybody else is just keep doing the same shit or hiring some influencers to like do social media. I don't want to see no social media content. I want to see a dope ass Anthony Edwards commercial. You know what I mean? Not
Mhm,
just a
mhm,
commercial. You know what I mean? I want to see
that part.
what's the next KD commercial or like what's the Steph like everybody should like it's no competition in like, oh, who got the dopest shoe or who got the dopest commercial or who got the best swag or who got the entourage. Like it ain't even like that no more. You know what I mean? So
Nah.
it's like, why the fuck am I following when I ain't I'm only getting the game. You know what I mean? And like I don't even and I know the players, I'm just saying from a fan perspective, is like I'm not tapped into all these guys because we don't know where they went to college. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
you better get we gotta get some experts in here, man, because we need some voices to like explain people background. All these dudes got incredible stories and come from somewhere. And like we just suffering from like surface type shit. Man, this is important. I need to get your thoughts. What do you think, or what were you thinking when you heard that Mike Brown was being fired?
Well, first off, Travis, asked me right away. He said, "Man, you said 3 or 4 years ago that Mike Brown would get fired in 3 to 4 years, even when he was having success. Why did you say that?" I said, "Well, I was right, huh?" He said, "Yeah, but why did you say that?" I said, "Because he's in an organization that they fire coaches, and no matter what he does, he's going to get fired." I said, Mike Malone had their franchise player playing his best basketball he had played up until that point, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yep.
His first coach that they had brought in that he absolutely loved, and they fired him, and he was doing well.
Yeah.
I said, so what chance does Mike Brown have? He doesn't have a chance. He never had a chance. And that's why I said that. I said, but also, Trav, another reason I said it is because people tend to forget things that go on around the NBA or that are said around the NBA. And I don't. I actually remember everything. And I'm like Vivek, who's the owner of the Sacramento Kings team organization. He was a minority owner here before he bought the Kings. And so I know Vivek. Vivek's great. I have zero issues with Vivek. I actually love him. Super nice. Family's nice. They are great. Where Vivek lost me was, and I quote, or whatever, but I said, another reason I knew he'd get fired is because people tend to forget these things, but Vivek's incredible. He's a great man. But he once thought we should play 4-on-5. Like basketball should be played 4-on-5. So much so that he tried it with the G League team. And I said, so
4-on-5.
Yeah, like you should cherry pick one guy. He should never come back on defense.
Oh.
And you should play defense for like that. And that's what he thought that should work. And he tried it with the G League team. And I was just like, Trav, so for a guy to like try to play 4-on-5, you can't think that he's going to be like logical with the coach that he hired or fired. Like
Jackie Moon.
Basketball 4-on-5. And so, like I said, I love Vivek. Vivek's great.
Jackie Moon. You calling him Jackie Moon, bro?
To play basketball 4-on-5. Just so we're clear, BD. Just so we're clear.
Hey, bro, you call it.
Every basketball set ran is to put you in an advantage 5-on-4.
Oh, my God.
1-on-3, 2-on-1. Every basketball set ran is to create that advantage. And you just going to give us that advantage? Like, so, I was not at all surprised. And then the last thing I'll say, BD, is on the heels of Monty Williams getting paid buku bread, they didn't even want to pay Mike Brown. They ended up giving him 3 for $30, $10 million a year. I think he was trying to get like 13 to 15 a year. They kind of was like, all right, here's something. And so, with his contract negotiation this past offseason, you could just kind of see the writing on the wall.
The commitment wasn't going to be there.
Like, the commitment wasn't there. And
Jackie Moon.
I was not the least bit surprised.
Jackie Moon, baby. Semi-pro.
So that's my take on Mike Brown being fired.
Still shout out to Mike Brown. Great coach. I'm sure he'll pop up somewhere. And, just like time, we have went overtime. Way overtime of the 12 minutes. So apologize to y'all fans. We get kind of caught up, but we're going to stick to probably the next time. We're going to try and knock this thing out in under 12 minutes. But moving right along, Dub Nation. First, let's talk how it's been playing with my boy Dennis Schröder for the past few games. Talk about that edition. Dray and what he means to your team as he starts to get more and more acclimated.
Man, I love playing with Dennis on our team. We had battles against Dennis over the years. And so there's a mutual respect already there. But him coming to this team, he brings a feistiness that we need at the guard spot. He brings a demeanor that we need an alpha male, that doesn't hurt anyone. There's no alpha here that feels uncomfortable with another alpha next to them, and so we invite that. We invite you to be the exact alpha that you are in every situation. And so and I've enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we haven't won as many games as we would like to, but it'll come together, I believe. But man, Dennis he's a leader. Like he gets to problems. Like if there's a problem, he see it, he go right to it. He had one situation, I can't remember who it was, but like his first, this was like his first, this was like I think his first game played with us, first and second game played with us. He we were sitting on the plane, we go back, he sits at the gambling table with us, and we were waiting to start because he was at the front of the plane talking to one of the players that some in the game, and he's like, no, I'm going to address that right now. And I just thought that was so dope. He said to me the other day in the Memphis game, which really changed my focus. I texted him after the game. I said, man, I haven't had a teammate say anything like that to me in years. He was like, yo, we was walking at halftime. He like, yo, yeah, keep talking to them. Like we at these boys. Like, and he said a few choice words that was a little different than that, but we'll leave it at that. He like, keep talking. We're gonna keep talking to them. They ain't cut like that. And I'm like, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's like, but you're talking to the roughs too much.
Yeah.
Get off them roughs, man.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to the Grizzlies. We talking to them. Get off them roughs. And I was like,
makes sense.
And I came back out in the second half, locked in.
Yeah.
And I hit him after the game and I said, yo, I appreciate you saying that to me because it locked me in on what I needed to be locked in on. And I'll be honest with you, not many people will say that to me. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
That you say that to me.
That's big time.
So, huge. And I think he's going to be a big help for us here. And I think he's going to be a big part. Like he's still trying to get comfortable.
Totally.
I don't think people really understand how it is to come to a team mid-season.
Yeah.
People really don't understand how hard it is to come to a team mid-season and take the ball out of Steph Curry's hands.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's done. He's come and he's taken the ball out of Steph Curry's hand intentionally. Like that was the goal, to find someone that can relieve Steph a little bit so you don't have to and be on the ball, wasting energy the whole time. And Dennis, he's come in and do that. But it's hard to, the times you can be out there and you feel like you're wrong, man. You on the court with Steph Curry and it could feel a little wrong. It can mess with your head a little bit. And so he's starting to get over that and we're starting to see it more and more. He's starting to get more aggressive. And I think as he does, it'll be great. And then he had said something else to me that I thought was like, all right, respect. He was like, Dray, I'm telling you, man, I'm so excited to get here. I miss my family. It's like, I miss my family. And when they get out here, I'm telling you, the player that I am, when they get here, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, people don't understand that side of it, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this man missing his kids and his wife.
It's his routine.
That's hard, man. Yeah, like your day. Like, every day is just off. You know what I'm saying? So then you go into the game, but you've been feeling off all day, every day for the last week and a half, and so he's starting to, he's starting to come around for us. And like I said, I think he's going to be really good for us.
I like that. Jonathan Kuminga, he been balling, been playing really good as of late, but he'll be sidelined for the next 3 weeks with an ankle injury. I mean, I know you high on his potential. What adjustments do you believe the team has to make with somebody like Kuminga now that he, stepping into that role, he now going to be out for a long period of time?
Yeah, man, it sucks, especially he's playing his best basketball probably of his career so far, and just to see him taking that next step. Like what I've seen from him as of late is like, oh, I can get a ball up because I'm going to get the ball back every possession.
Right.
Like, so I can actually drive in and make the next play, which is making him even more dangerous because he's starting to hit some open shooters and stuff, which eventually just opens the floor up more for him. And just seeing him take those next steps, you know what I'm saying, of a shot that he may would have forced because he don't know, A, how long he going to be in the game, B, when he going to get the ball back. he ain't forcing none of that no more. Now, I always say, when you got great scorers, which I think he has the potential to be, they're going to take some bad shots. Like you're not going to be a great scorer and not take any bad shots. And so he's still going to take some shots that's questionable, as every great scorer does. But with the way he's starting to see the game now, the way the game is slowing down for him, it's been special to see. And I think, for us with missing him for these next 3-4 weeks, it's tough. I think we're going to need a much heavier dose of Andrew Wiggins. In the last couple games, he's been aggressive. We need that, especially starting the second half of that Memphis game.
Yep.
When JK went out, Wiggs picked it up, and we're going to need him to be really aggressive. I think also that, that's going to open up more minutes for Slow-Mo, which the last couple games you've seen him.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously we need JK out there and want him out there, but I think, being in the space that we're in, struggling a bit, getting a veteran like Slow-Mo out there can help right the ship.
Yeah.
It can help settle things down.
Yep.
And so I think it'll be a little more Slow-Mo. We need a lot more Wiggs consistently, which he's been great all year. I'm not saying he hasn't been consistent, but we're going to need Wiggs to be even more aggressive, and then all of us got to pick it up. Everybody got to be willing to shoot because it's not going to be as much pressure on the rim without JK putting that pressure on the rim, and everybody got to come out ready to fire.
No, I agree. I mean, it's a golden opportunity for some of the dudes, and for, like we said in the beginning of the year, y'all got a lot of depth and versatility. So this is kind of like could be a great turning point. And speaking of turning point, Steph calling the team very mid.
What does that reflect about who you guys are right now, but what you guys can be going forward?
How did kids say it? We're very mid right now. We're just very average.
Right. I mean, and then he turned up the next game, hit 8 for 8 from the 3-point line, but, calling the Warriors very mid, man, let's drill in on that.
Man, listen, when he said that and I read it, I was like, oh. And I sat and started thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I get what he's saying. I get where he's coming from. We are definitely like right at 500, like right in the middle of the pack, very mid. And we heard him. And I think we've played a little better since. But again, it's still got an equal stack and wins together. And we haven't done that. So until we do that, like he said, you never want to, when you're going through it, you never want to really accept that you're mid or that you're not a good team or whatever it is. Like, it's a hard pill to accept. And we haven't accepted it because we still think we got a chance and we could right the ship. But it's tough.
Yeah.
And so for him to just come out and say it like, hey,
it's real.
Elephant in the room, we mid right now. Like, all right, so now that we can acknowledge that, what we got to do to figure this out and get better. And so when I first saw it was like a double take, but then I'm like, yeah, we are very mid right
sometimes, now. But it's a humbling experience because sometimes you got to humble yourself and say like, yo, we around here doing this, we doing that, we saying this, we saying that, like we was this, we not that no more. You know what I mean? So it's like almost like a self-check moment to be like, yo, we are very mid. And then to look up and be like, hold on, we mid? How are we mid? You know what I mean? We need to recalibrate because ain't nothing mid about, you know what I mean, what we doing. And so, when it's the big dog talking like that, it's almost like a wake-up call for himself, but also everybody else. Yeah.
And it like, what, another thing that it does is it can also give guys confidence because it gives them like that freedom to be like, yo,
it's no pressure.
This is what we need to do. Right. And so then they don't have to live up to the pressure that's been created by what we've done. Because that's a thing. Like, you come here and you feel like you need to live up to the pressure of what we've been. And that's not a realistic thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that also helps with that. But we start a 4-game road trip today in Detroit, followed by the Pacers and Raptors and Timberwolves. In your honest opinion, what do you see the toughest matchup of this road trip? And where do you see the record being in this road trip?
I mean, I would like to see y'all go 3-1. I think
That's a great road trip.
2-2 is a good road trip. It started in Detroit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like these young dudes, they hungry. They coming off of 500. You know what I mean? They already 500. They just been playing, really just playing their ass off. You gotta beat Detroit
Yeah.
because then that take the pressure off of Halliburton. You know what I mean? Gonna want that
Mhm.
Steph fade. And Indiana, they coming out like, you know what I mean? They coming out playing just as hard as y'all gonna play.
Yeah. And maybe harder.
I like Toronto. I think that they are at home. They're just like how the Toronto Raptors used to be when they were not
Yes.
DeMar. You know what I mean? When they were not contenders, you better not go in there half stepping because you could get knocked. And then the Timberwolves waiting for y'all because they fit. That's one of them other. That's one of the team shit that's very mid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They hella mid. So it's like, who's going to start laying some foundation in concrete in that middle market? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like really
They
kind
got
of
the same mindset we got right now.
yeah, hell yeah. And like, and it's that mindset to have when you in the season like this, getting ready for All-Star, get the ups and downs, trying to get like we up, we down, we injured, people coming in and out. All of this, for this All-Star push, like what are your thoughts around just like talk to the fans about everybody is going through something, right?
Mhm.
And then like what is kind of like your recipe, or is there a team meeting, or how do you guys like start riding the ship? Is it a meeting? Is it like because fans are always asking like, oh, we need a team meeting, those dudes should just get together and talk, or like what is the philosophy around kind of like this winter time, like winter is here?
You have team meetings here and there, just trying to figure it out and talk amongst each other, which we've done. But the interesting thing about this team is it's like it ain't zero bad blood. Like the chemistry on this team
Crazy.
is incredible. And so it's not one of them things of where you need to get in and like call somebody out like, yo, we ain't hitting on this. Like, it ain't none of that. Like the chemistry on this team is incredible. And so, like, it's the play. Like, we just gotta play better, and like that has to be the focus for us. Like, we just have to play better because all the other stuff that you need to make you a winning team, we have. Like, rocking with each other off the court, we have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the things that you need around the play to be a great team, we have those things.
Yeah.
And so we just got to play better and win some games. So I don't really always like
stop losing games.
That's what I'm saying. This ain't one of them situations of where it's like, yo, they struggling and it's problems in the locker. It ain't nothing like that. And so we've thrown games away that we shouldn't. Like, you just got to win.
Yeah, I totally agree, bro. I totally agree. You just got to stop losing the games you're not supposed to lose, or figuring out a way to like, even like the little mid-season tournament, going back to that in the Houston, it's like, look at that.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn. And then it was like 3 games just like that. I was like, wait, what happened? Like, I thought we had that locked up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's the difference between being very mid to being like, oh, we still solid in the top. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
1,000%.
yeah.
NFL playoffs? We're talking about NFL playoffs? You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is a key to winning in the NFL playoffs, and the key to you scoring big is betting on them. At DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. If you're ready to place your first bet, make it really simple. A player scoring a touchdown. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook's app, download it, make your pick. Here's another reason to watch your favorite players crush it on the playoffs. If you're a new customer, you bet $5, that's it. $5, get 200 in bonus bets instantly by betting just $5. So score big, DraftKings Sportsbook during the playoffs. Download the app, use the code Colin, COLIN. That will get you $200 in bonus bets if you bet the $200. So if you want $200 in bonus bets, you got to put in the code Colin. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours.
Let's go around the league a little bit. A few things happened since we were last here, starting with Kawhi Leonard return. How do you feel about his return, and how can he help this Clippers team?
It's going down. It's going down. Once Kawhi come back, you got the beard, you got Norman Powell playing at an all-star level as far as like shooting guards are concerned in this Western Conference. Like he probably one of the, outside of Anthony Edwards, maybe Booker, he putting up consistent numbers. Man, you talking about 53, 45, 90. You know what I mean? And one-on-one, ain't nobody stopping him getting his shot off. Defensively, another added piece to now, they defense.
They got a great defense
with Van Gundy. And so now I think, really from a Kawhi perspective, he gets to kind of be almost like the Kawhi that was made for Toronto and the Kawhi that was made for San Antonio, right? Because it's like, oh shit, here go a solid ass team that's great defensively. They already got an offensive weapon. They know how to play and win with James and Norman Powell leading the charge, right? And that Zubac combination. Now Kawhi is like, oh shit, Kawhi on the floor. Oh shit, Kawhi is killing. You know what I mean? And like,
yep.
You ain't nothing you can do but double team Kawhi. Or he gonna tear, or he gonna tear you up. You know what I mean? And so now it just creates a whole nother dynamic for the Clippers to where Kawhi is really that X factor that they needed. But during this season, that if he didn't come back, they were a solid team that was going to be there in the end, challenging.
All right, so I ask you this question. So who's taking a bigger hit? Because something has to change in order for Kawhi to become Kawhi. Who's taking a bigger hit? James Harden and the way James has been playing this year, or Norman? One of them ain't going to, both of their production can't stay the same in Kawhi then come be Kawhi. Yeah. So which one of those guys are going to take more of a hit?
Neither one.
Interesting.
Neither one, because Kawhi gonna get his money, and Kawhi is efficient. That just means other people like Coffee, you know what I mean? Dudes who was getting wide open looks and shit like that. You ain't about to get those. Those wide open looks now about to go to James and a swing to Norman Powell. You know what I mean? Because you gotta double team Kawhi. If not, he gonna light you up. And so when you look at Kawhi, it's almost like you can clock in a quick dub. You know what I mean? Oh, let me clock in. Let me add that dub. And they don't really change nothing from what James doing, because now James kicking to Kawhi. And so Kawhi get a chance to eat off of what they already built. But now they just got a motor to where James has done an incredible job of picking his spots because he knows he has to be a finisher and a closer. Now, you know what I mean? You got big shot making Norm Powell on the right side, Kawhi on the left side, and now you got Harden, Harden in the Zubac screen. Pretty dangerous and defensively efficient too.
No, that's for sure. I can agree with some parts of what you said. The only where my opinion differs is I think James is going to take more of a hit because, in the words of Beer himself, I am a system, and he is very much so a system. I just don't know if his system, the system that he is, that Kawhi is going to necessarily just plug into that system.
Kawhi don't need a system. Kawhi is.
I agree, but in James' system, James always has the ball, and I just think with Kawhi now on the floor, that lessens how much James is going to have the ball, and again, in the eyes of I am a system, that lessens how much that James is going to have the ball. Obviously, I think James is going to continue to play great, but I think he's going to have to take a step back in order, if they want Kawhi to come back and be the Kawhi of, the Kawhi that we know. Now, he's coming back from a knee injury, so it's going to take time to ramp up and stuff, and we'll see how it plays out. But if one guy is going to lose some of his production and touches, I think it'll be James, just because I am a system. In that system, he got the ball.
James is the system. Kawhi don't need a system. And so that means Kawhi is the ultimate complement to James, his system, because Kawhi is Kawhi. Kawhi is on his own island. It's just a plug-in. You know what I mean? It's like a hella battery charge. Now, James, all he got to do is figure out, okay, when I pass the ball to Kawhi, I'm not getting that one back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get Kawhi 5 shots a quarter, when he at full health. Other than that, man, James operate. He got resting moments now, right? Where if you watch, as James get older, he chills too. He gets off the ball now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the Houston James. He is the system,
That's
but
a
he's
fact.
not the Houston James. So he's been getting off the rock, and that's how I think Norm has been flourishing. They run stuff for Norm. Remember, Norm averaged 20 points with Kawhi and PG and Harden coming off the bench. So, now that there's no PG, and it's like, not having Paul George, right, for the Clippers opened up so many shots for so many people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it allowed James to kind of be the initiator and like Kawhi to be the free spirit.
Joe Mazzulla got what he wanted a couple weeks ago. He said we need to start fighting in the NBA. Amen Thompson got into it with Tyler Herro.
Yeah, saw that.
Nurkic got into it with Naji Marshall. I'm a 1-4 flat to this one. I'll take this one. Starting with the Amen Thompson and Tyler Herro.
I like that one.
Number one, why he swing Tyler Herro like that?
Bro.
Like he was just a little kid throwing him on the couch was crazy.
He was
Tyler.
he swung him like the dog that wasn't supposed to be sitting there. Get your ass
Whoa. Hey, whoa. Hey, the way he swung him was crazy.
That was sick.
Terry Rozier came and got involved the way he should, which I respected. The way he got involved for the young fella.
I couldn't see all the rest of it.
Oh yeah, Terry Rozier came and came right in. And you got to do that. Tyler Herro's about to be the face of that franchise, and so I respected that. I did not quite understand. Well, they were about to play us the next day.
He ain't want no parts.
And he just out of nowhere, picked an argument and then swung.
Yeah.
And I hope that brother got the help he needed. Because
that was random.
Man, it was just out of nowhere. Something's wrong in life.
Yeah.
He must be going through a really hard time in life to just go back and swing like that. Or possibly maybe he didn't want to play against the team that he was going to play the next day. That could be a thought.
Maybe.
But it was just a little surprising
that he would take
to see him swing like that. But then to get pushed on the ground
and cry.
And then start whining about it and grabbing his face, I was really shocked. Yeah, you can't swing and then get pushed on the ground and grab your face and cry about it. Once you swing, it was you that kind of said, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And so I was just a little surprised, but that brother needs some help. And I hope he get the help
Get that man some help. Come on, man. Get Nurkic some help, man.
You can't just be swinging on people and then
do.
going down. You better,
if that ain't the
stand up.
If that ain't the pot, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? You just swinging out of nowhere, surprising everybody.
Oh my God.
I was a little shocked by that one. I'm not gonna lie. But they was gonna play against us the next day, and sometimes people get Draymond-itis, and I get it, and it's all right. It's okay.
He was
give you a pass.
It was definitely not not thinking about it. He was like, damn, I might as well get up out of this one. Let me swing.
BD, I would say, though, I'm very surprised that the guy who got swung on got suspended for more games than.
That's weird.
Like, that I did not understand. They said, oh, he tried to keep going in the back. Like, stop. He gets one more game suspension than the guy who swung on him. So, like, what am I to do if I get swung on? Just stand there because I'm going to get suspended? Like, that is crazy. And so I was a little shocked by a little bit. I was a little shocked by that. Just Naji Marshall getting suspended for more games than
Yeah, and he the one who got swung on.
than the guy that needs some help.
Don't take it.
Stop it. Don't toss around that word enforcer like that. That's ridiculous.
He coming for you though. Next.
Ah.
What if he was Those quote said, man, I should have saved that one for Draymond Green the next night.
Ooh.
Just kidding.
You don't want that. You don't want that smoke.
Hey, bro.
No, you don't want that smoke.
Hey, I was watching the Mike Epps comedy thing when he said
like that.
He said, go get him. I can imagine you outside the Phoenix Arena. Like, nah, he gonna have to see me.
You gotta see me, bro. You can't get out of here like that. You gotta see me. You got to see me, Chad.
All right, man. Continuing, the Suns asked Bradley Beal to come off the bench. 40, 60 million. He's a starter. As someone who's been asked to come off the bench earliest this season, bro, do you think this will help the Suns? And does this make sense at all?
It may help in the interim, right? Like, it may help. If they want to win at the level that they want to win at, Bradley Beal is one of their best players. Tough to bring him off the bench. And he had 25 the first game coming off the bench, which is great. But, like, that game when he have 6, it ain't going to necessarily be as pleasant. You know what I'm saying? And so shout out to Brad of being a professional and going to the bench and coming off the bench for 25, and the first time he did it since 2016. But like I said, I think, yes, it could help in the interim, but to win at the level that I think that team is expected to win at, which is to be contenders, I don't think you can necessarily be a contender with Bradley Beal coming off the bench on that team.
All right, man. You know how I motivated Doc Rivers this year. Whoever is the Phoenix coach, get your shit together, bro.
Budenholzer.
Man, get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your shit together. Man, what? Like, how you gonna win? And Bradley Beal kind of like, man, if you can't coach the 3 superpowers, you know what I mean? Or superstars and figure out, like, that's your job. What the hell does him coming off the bench got to do with the first 4 minutes anyway? Because he coming right in. You know what I mean? It's like, man, it's fool's gone. You know what I mean? Because to your point, when he get 12 or he gets 6 and he can't really catch a rhythm, he got 25 because he was just mad. The way you start the game is the way you want to finish the game. And that's the confidence in them dudes to figure that shit out. Now, throughout the course of the game, you got a sub. I'm bringing KD out. Bill, it's your turn. Booker, it's you and KD turn. Booker turn, KD turn. You know what I mean? And, like, you got to understand as a coach how to get them dudes in flow. You got 4 quarters. You know what I mean? They can all get their 15, 20 shots. Like, but I don't know about this coming off the bench. This dude make too much money to be coming off the bench. What is we doing, bro? That is the most disrespect. Like, who's starting in front of him?
Facts.
You feel what I'm saying? Who is starting in front of him? And I would like to understand what's the rationale, right? You put your best players on the floor. Ain't no way Bradley Beal coming off nobody bench to be no 6 man or none of that shit when he's bona fide and a proven playmaker. And the piece that y'all went and traded for to go get. All right, man, I'm going to take a TV timeout where we can talk about something a little bit more from the TV analyst side. This week, our boy Charles Barkley is discussing Anthony Edwards. Charles Barkley, I quote, I think Anthony Edwards has regressed. Anthony Edwards, on the other hand, recently expressed frustration about being double teamed and scores career high 53 points in a loss to Detroit. We know they're underachieving. Do you agree with Chuck?
I don't think Anthony Edwards is regressing. I don't think Anthony Edwards has played the way everybody expected him to come back playing from going to a Western Conference Finals, with the hunger, with the tenacious attitude that he has anyway. I don't think he's done that, but he's gotten better actually as a player. His jump shot's way better. So I wouldn't say regressed. I don't think that's the right word. If I was even going to make this argument, I think I would have went more along the lines of like, yo, is Anthony Edwards content because he went to the conference finals? I would take more that approach if I was going to do that rather than like Anthony Edwards has regressed, because that's just not true. He hasn't regressed one bit. I would just say more of that. But in saying that, removing a player like Cat is a big deal.
Yeah.
And it takes some time to figure out a move like that.
Yep.
Like, it can take some time to figure that out. I think, you see the last two games, he had 53, then he had 37.
They lost.
Averaging 45 over his last two games.
They lost.
And I saw that he complained about the double teams. The reality is that's just Ant being Ant. Like, Ant's going to say whatever he thinks. But he going to get double teamed. Like, you can't stop him one-on-one, so that's going to happen. And he should expect to see more of that, and his coaches better figure out how to negate those double teams. But they ain't going away. You talk about losing a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns. That even opened up the possibility for double teams because you can help off a little more because he's the way he shoot the ball. You couldn't help off as much because of how quick Cat's trigger is and how well he shoot the ball. And so I think they still have some adjustments to make. Like I told Ant at the Olympics after the game, after they won the gold medal, don't be a moment guy. Like, don't be one of those guys that had their moment that went to the conference finals that we never hear from again. And I don't think he has that attitude, but, he got to take that next step.
Yeah,
and
I would definitely.
we all believe that he will.
Yeah.
I do, at least.
I agree. I think it's not regress, right? It's more like he hasn't taken the next step.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gotten better, but what does that mean for someone who's so talented and, huge expectation? I think my challenge to him is he hasn't figured out how to get 53 and dominate a game. He hasn't figured out to walk on the court and say, not only am I the best player, I'm the most talented, I'm the most athletic, and I can win this game based on my ability, my know-how, my knowledge, time, and score. I think he's still very similar to Wemby, right? He's learning the game, he's learning how to play the game, but he's not learning yet to dominate the game or to be a winner in game situations. You know what I mean? And so it goes to like, yeah, he's a baller, he can't be stopped. But it's also like he has to figure out how to make Julius Randle valuable for him in a different way than Cat was, because you don't have Cat. Now, to say all that, not having Cat and having Julius Randle, like, you got to figure out how this dude gonna compliment you, because the floor is different, the spacing is different, the style is different, the way Julius Randle want to get his shots, his touches, and so
it's different.
Now you got Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, you know what I mean, Conley, like, it looked like the same team, but you don't fear them beating you from the outside. You don't fear them beating you at the rim. You don't fear their height or their size. And so now you have you have nowhere to hide or disappear or your game for other people to really compliment you to step up because all eyes are on you, right? Because it's just a different, like the spacing is different. The energy to close out on everybody else, it's a shorter closeout or it's a slower closeout, right? Which allow you to get double teamed. So I think for him, he got to understand like there's a game within the game within the game, right? And for what you're saying, don't be the moment, dude. It's like you can get back to the air, but you're not going to get back to the conference finals with Karl Anthony Towns because you don't play there no more. So stop complaining about Randall. Make that shit work. Make Rudy Gobert do something. You know what I mean? And figure out how to be the centerpiece of everything they need without saying like, I'm passing too much. I'm scoring too much. I'm this and that too much. It's like, we don't need none of that.
No doubt. I feel you. But the word regress.
It's not he's not.
I've played against Anthony Edwards this year. I can tell you for certain, he ain't regressed one bit. He come down talking to you like, oh, Dre, you think I'm telling you, Dre, my three better. Wow, I told you, yeah, y'all ain't gonna guard me like that. My three is nice. Like he talking to you while he's shooting it. He ain't regressed.
Now his game got better. His game awareness, basketball IQ, as far as like taking that next step to be a superstar and be somebody he's not feared. His 53 points, his points are not feared enough. You know what I mean? And so like there needs to be an opportunity for him to walk in the game and be like, I can beat you scoring 53. I can beat you scoring 30. I can beat you scoring like I can just win this game because I got control. And I think that's the situation he's in now in Minnesota because you don't have somebody with that high level of confidence that feel like I'm one of them ones too. You know what I mean? And so you don't have that to feed off of. Everybody got to feed off that shit from you. And so you got to be more responsible about, once again, how do you play the game until it's time for you to be a winner? You know what I mean? You may have to James Harden this shit.
I agree. So I don't know. We'll see. We got them next week, so we shall see. Hey, but we got a new segment on the show called What's That Tweet? It'll be explaining the reasoning behind certain tweets. To kick things off, let's look at a repost from BD. I was surprised to see Jay-Z performing by wearing a Baron Davis jersey. When did that take place? Also, when was the first time you ever met Hov?
We was in college at UCLA. Shout out to the homie Hip Hop, the homie Ivory. They came by. Hip Hop a big basketball fan, and he was like one of the youngest A&Rs at Rockefeller. So he was like, yo, you want to meet Jay? Like, Jay want to rock your jersey for the Hard Knock Life. You've been coming out in different people's jersey. I was like, what? Bro, we hopped in the whip, hit down Sunset, Cafe Men's. It was Jay. Dame Dash was there. He wasn't that nice to us. You know what I mean? But Jay was hella cool. You know what I mean? He was young. He was like it was a Hard Knock Life tour. But he was like, I was like, I got a jersey for you. I gave him the white one. I gave him the black UCLA jersey. Because me and Earl Watson, for the first time, we told the coach, like, we should make black jerseys. So we had a UCLA black jersey. I gave him the UCLA black jersey. They invited us to the concert, man. We was backstage. Like, as college kids, you know what I mean? You got red math. You backstage with, a young Ja Rule, DMX, Hov, and I was like, man, I thought he was gonna bring me on stage and shit. He didn't do that. You feel me? I was backstage. I was just waiting for my moment. Like, hey, bro, you know what I mean? I'm big out here too, dog. Bring me out on the stage. But when he showed up with the jersey, that was just everybody went nuts.
That's it.
And so it's like one of the moments that he kind of won the crowd over because he knew which jersey to wear. You feel me?
You saved Hov that night, huh?
Yeah, come on, bro. Come on. I took the whole team too. We had a nice little time, man. We had no NIL bread, but I couldn't imagine if we did.
Yeah, y'all had that illegal bread. That's cool.
stocks and bonds.
Yeah.
Oh man! On New Year's Eve, you talk about OKC saying Chet out and shaking hoop really well. What game were you watching? And do you believe they are the best team in the NBA? Also, what do you think about SGA for MVP?
What I was talking about was when I just said Chet, I said shaking really hoop.
Yeah.
Well. And then I said Chet out. The reason what I was thinking when I said Chet out, because I was watching that game and I was just like, man, this team is good as hell.
Yeah, and Chet out.
And Chet out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sitting there like, huh? Like, Chet out. And they this good.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was saying. And then shaking hoop really well was just like, you know, you watch Shea. He ain't really doing nothing that's blowing you away, except he may make a move here and there, you know. But like, it ain't like it's the most speed or the highest jumper, you know what I'm saying? Or like the most flawless jump shot you ever seen. It ain't none of that. Except he gonna create all the space he want.
Oh my gosh.
He gonna get wherever he want. He gonna get whatever shot he wants at whatever pace he wants to do it at.
You cannot speed him up.
Like, it's crazy. And I was just watching. I'm like, yo, this dude, like, just simply put, he hooped really well. Like, I'm not about to sit here and try to break this down. I'm not about to go shaking hoop.
Yeah.
And that's just what I was watching them play against the Timberwolves, actually, against Ant-Man. And the way they came back in that game and was just like so poised and like just watching Shea do what he do, I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
He
man.
a bucket, bro.
I can't say they're the best team in the NBA. That's Boston.
Yeah.
Until someone proves otherwise, the best team in the NBA is the Boston Celtics.
Great.
I think OKC is real.
Yeah.
But until further notice, the best team in the NBA is the Boston Celtics. Until you can beat them and dethrone them, that's the best team.
Leader.
And they got the same team from last year, so it ain't like they won a championship and lost big pieces. Until you can beat them, that's the best team in the NBA.
Facts.
Period.
That's how it always works.
Period. Oh, man. Before we get out of here, I got 5 on it. Next up, I got 5 on it where BD discussed his 5 players that he's high on to start the new year. Who are your top 5 players in the league right now?
Okay, we just talk about SGA, man, because he's just on the tear. You know, this in no particular order. I got
No.
Is this order?
It's a particular order.
Oh wow! This is my particular. Okay, this is how I
top
announced it.
5 MVP.
Okay.
Like this is it.
Number
what do you
one,
mean ain't no particular order?
SGA, front runner
Boom.
candidate. Number 2, Joker. Just because. And shit. What else can you say? You know what I mean? Number 3, Tatum, which is kind of like
Love
a 2 because Joker did not want so many. Tatum have an MVP year. Boston, you know, just kind of like making that run, but the way he closing out games is like really on some like superstar MVP level type shit. Giannis,
like I'm the big dog type stuff.
Yeah, Giannis with just like it was because of he decided that he's going to turn the Milwaukee Bucks around, right? And like Giannis is back to Giannising, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And doing what he do. And then number 5 for me is I would say a sleeper in this whole thing is James Harden. Look at what the Clippers have done up until this point in the season. You know what I mean? The beard is back, and I would say back better than ever, taking that 2 years in Philadelphia as a playmaker with Embiid and allowed him to like now figure out, okay, now I know how to he redefined his system, and now it's working for the Clippers. And, you know, he's just still one of the toughest dudes to guard, you know, in that pick and roll or ISO.
I am a system. And I am Draymond Green. And he is Baron Davis. And that is a wrap from this episode of the Draymond Green Show with my dog BD.
We out.
Peace.